Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy Owens. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Unicorn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and ring the bell. Okay, our guest today is Melissa Wedman. I say that right?
You did.
All right, cool. We'll get right into it as always. How much candy do you eat a week?
You know, I have to admit, I hardly eat my own candy anymore. Unless we're in research and development. Of course, I have to taste test at that point. But
Okay.
I'm a sucker for chocolate, which is probably one of the reasons why we don't make chocolate in-house right now.
Okay.
I have a hard time with self-control.
That's hilarious. Well, you already answered this. What's your favorite type of candy?
Oh, chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And mixed with anything. It can be like peanuts, almonds, freeze-dried fruit, ganache. It doesn't matter. I just love chocolate.
I get morsels, and then I will get pecans, and I just put them in a bowl. That's like
It's like a little trail mix.
It's one of my favorite ones. And now trail mix, that stuff is evil. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if there's like shreds of coconut in it. You can leave that out of trail mix. I like coconut in its own place, not in
trail mix will put it on you if you keep eating it really fast.
Will.
Yeah. It probably is just because of my age, but all right. Have you ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I have.
Yeah.
The original is my favorite.
Okay.
The new one's okay in its own right. I mean, you can't go wrong with Johnny Depp. He's an amazing actor, but I'm a pretty nostalgic person, and I love history, so you can't go wrong with the original.
Yeah, it's
just
very well
leave
produced.
it alone, and
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Melissa, what makes you a unicorn?
Probably always hungry for knowledge. You know, you can't get stagnant in your education. Of course, I have a college background, but it's in a whole different industry than what I'm working in right now. And
what's it in?
Horticulture.
Okay.
Yep. I used to landscape professionally and left that industry when I was 7 months pregnant with our oldest child.
Okay.
And got some very strange looks from passerbys as I was still lifting things and moving things around, very pregnant at that point. But the candy world just kind of accidentally happened. So with that comes a whole new learning curve, and I just love to always learn, Audible, podcasts. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
How'd you learn to run your business?
I do have a background in business, but I really do feel like it's one of those God-given talents, that was instilled in me. I don't know if I was watching my dad as a kid, just the power of negotiation and his people skills combined with, I don't know, I had my first business at 13 years old.
What was it?
So it was a gift basket business, which isn't too far from what we do today through our candy company. Yeah. I found out, and of course this was in the 90s, so the internet wasn't as relevant as now, but I figured out how to get my own tax ID number and didn't ask permission from my parents.
Really?
I was just like, hey, I started a new business. And
That's
they were like,
impressive.
yeah, okay, whatever. And I'm like, no, really, I'm registered with the state now. And my dad was like, oh, okay. But they used to haul me to craft shows to sell my products and my booths to craft malls, and parents kind of worked for me from day one.
Do you ever get like an itch of like, I really need to go to a craft show just because you haven't been?
I do. We don't do small craft shows anymore as a business, but I still go and shop. It's a little challenging now to go to the smaller craft shows as a business, so we try to do those like 2 to 3 day larger trade show type events. But I like to meet new people, and so that's a perfect place to market our product and make new friends.
Awesome.
Yep.
Always learning.
Always.
Well, check this out from our episode sponsor. All right, Melissa. So let me see if I can say the name of your company correctly. It's Molly Coddled Hash Slinger.
You got it. Say it 10 times fast and it will stick.
Yeah. Don't worry about trying to spell it. It's going to be in the description.
Yeah.
Do you guys do corporate gifting?
We do.
What else? You do all kinds of stuff.
We offer fundraisers. We don't heavily promote it, but we do have that option available. Yep.
Okay.
But corporate gifting is really our bread and butter. Beyond starting with making candy as the obvious, that was the first service that really allowed our company to grow where it's at now. And we have a retail store and a little bit of different channels here and there.
So what kind of candy do you make?
We actually specialize in caramel. That's our foundational product line, but we do in-house candy floss, which is cotton candy.
Okay.
Toffees, brittles, divinity, a little bit of everything. And we have
Okay.
some new products in the pipeline for this year too.
Why do I not know that you do all those other things? I only think of caramel.
I don't know. Probably because I only ever give you caramel.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's more than pretty good.
Yeah,
It's really excellent.
it is, yeah.
Yeah, so do you even like caramel?
I do. I started making it, honestly, in memory of my dad when he passed. He loved all things caramel, but
Okay.
I learned to cook from him, and he was very experimental in the kitchen. Growing up,
Okay.
there were a lot of fails in the kitchen, ideas that he had that just didn't turn out.
What
but
was one of them?
Pan-fried, like pancake battered banana slices. Like I don't know why that one stands out.
He's just
but
making stuff up, huh?
I woke up, I had this dream and a breakfast idea, and we are like, okay, I don't know, I was probably 12 or 13 years old. You just
Yeah.
roll with it because Dad was
Yeah.
a good cook, you know.
Yeah.
So when he passed away unexpectedly, about a Christmas later, it was like, I just want to make something in his memory for friends and family.
Yeah.
And I've never done anything normal in my life. I don't like just.
Okay.
I couldn't do like pumpkin bread and be like, okay, here's a pumpkin bread that everybody makes, you know? So I was racking my brain, and then it hit me one day, like Dad loved anything caramel. Like he could have sat down with a bag of like craft brand caramels and eaten the whole bag, or a Caramello candy bar or Snickers or Milky Way or whatever.
Those.
And so I will say I am not the chemist side between my husband and I. My husband is a chemist, and so I like to cook just by eyeballing ingredients, and that does not work well when you're making candy. So there were a lot of failed batches before I finally realized you have to be very precise in candy making, not just in your ingredient measurements, but also in the temperature that they're cooked to, like a half a degree off, and it completely changes the whole pan. So after about 20 failed batches, I had my base recipe down for our salted whiskey caramel, which intended to be rum caramels in the beginning, but I was out of rum, so I got into my husband's whiskey stash, and it stuck ever since. So yeah.
That's cool. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's why you love caramel.
That's why we do caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it just that one kind of caramel, or just different?
We have
kinds of
4
caramel?
signature flavors that are available year round, and then we have seasonal flavors here and there. Back in the fall, we did a chai tea caramel.
I bet that's really good.
It was.
Yeah.
We still have customers ask for it, but I'm like, chai tea
No, you
is
gotta
like
keep
a
that
fall
season- you gotta
winter
keep that
thing.
seasonality sale.
It is, and so I try to really have like our 4 staples year round that are very popular with everybody, but then kind of create that marketing opportunity to promote different flavors through the year. And we like to do collaborations too. We've worked with Wonderful Distillery in Guthrie to use their Same Old Moses bourbon to make a limited run. We've worked with a distillery in Tulsa using their rum to make some caramel. So we like to have fun with local ingredients too.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
We'll go on to the next question. I had no clue. What business hacks, life hacks do you have for our audience? Can speak today.
Man, the power of no, I think, really stands out as one of the life hacks. I was the mom with young kids that never wanted to miss helping out in the classroom and do all those things. But as a business person, you have to learn how to say no sometimes, especially when it comes to volunteer work. I'm finally at a point in life where I can, hey, I can give you $50 to help towards that, but I don't have the time to physically come and help, and so you just have to kind of decide and learn how to say no. And it's never, I don't know. I feel like saying no sometimes can be taken personal to people, so you have to preface that of like, hey, it's not that I don't want to help with, it's that I just can't right now, but can I help you in another way?
Yeah, and I mean, I got 30 no's from you before you were here.
I don't think so. I don't think you got a single no from me.
I'm persistent.
Yeah, right? It helps that we're friends.
What about business hack?
Business hack, man. I don't
say yes.
Well, no. That Jim Carrey movie where he's saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, please don't do that.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, but honestly, I can't go to sleep without making my very detailed to-do list for the next day. And within that, of course, it's prioritized of like the top 3 that have to happen before the end of the day.
Okay.
If I start my day out without a to-do list, then I get 0 accomplished.
You feel a little frustrated too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Usually like list making, morning routine, mindset, all that usually just talks about here at the table.
Right. And you have to build in like the little extras time that you don't know might pop up, especially
Right.
now that we have a retail store. It's like somebody's going to walk in the day and need 20 minutes of my time. So if my schedule is so jam packed, then I'm definitely not going to meet my to-do list. So
Yeah.
you do
Or
have to
like
create buffer
internet
time.
goes down because then or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manual receipts.
Absolutely. No, thankfully
checking.
we have a tablet with its own data.
Okay, yeah,
Because
so-
internet does go down.
Yeah.
So-
There you go. There's your another business
Yes,
hack.
yeah.
Gets you a tablet with its own data
Right.
plan.
Best
and you don't
spent
have to
money
worry
ever.
about it. Yeah. We use one here at the office too for a teleprompter. And so it has its own data plan for a lot of reasons like that. What's the hardest thing about running your business?
Oh man, ever evolving world of technology. If you don't
Okay.
stay on top of it, and that's website SEO, that's point of sale systems,
Yeah.
bookkeeping practices. It's a whole well-rounded thing. If you miss a week of staying on top of something, you're already behind. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the holidays you don't take off.
I don't. I work about 80 hours a week in the holidays.
Okay.
Q4 is a little wild for us.
See, so you're not working too hard.
Yeah, no.
You just think you're working as hard as Melissa, and you're not. Go watching YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
What's YouTube? I don't
Yeah.
get to watch that.
Well, this show's going to go on YouTube.
Well, I'll watch it.
Yeah. So, those are a lot of things that you just named off, and you're not just a Oklahoma company.
Right.
You're nationwide. You said SEO, you said website, you have to make the candy. You make it all there at your location too, right? Because I've been there.
Yep.
Before you moved in. It's been a little
Yep.
while. And so is it like the place just full of candy? And how do you cut caramel candies? How's that work?
We hand cut and wrap all of our caramel right now. I say that
Her hands hurt too.
We're small but mighty. Thankfully, I have a good team. I'm not wrapping the candy anymore unless I have to, unless we're shorthanded or meeting a deadline. But I'm still cooking the candy myself and still
Okay.
doing all the sales and marketing. So that's, another business hack is like delegate what you can. I have a phenomenal manager. She used to work with my husband in another industry and was ready to pivot, and I snagged her, and I'm not letting go.
Okay.
But, just to be able to delegate. But we do everything in-house. So we're small but mighty. We're packed into 1,600 square foot. And depending on the time of the year, we run out of space to put our back stock of candy, especially Q4 every year.
Okay.
So, there's literal sugar floating in the air all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like how much caramel do you make a week? Like is it?
It varies time of the year. I know that on our very first full year of business, we made enough caramel that if you would have taken the wrapped pieces end to end, it would have been 2.5 times the height of the Devon Tower here in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And that was just in the first year of business. So I haven't done the math. We're 6 years in on where we're at now. But it really just depends on the time of the year,
They're so small. I can't believe you cut those by hand.
They add up.
And then you wrap them.
We want a cutting machine
put a bow
so
on 'em?
bad.
Put a bow on?
we can. No, we would love to have a commercial wrapping machine, but even a small.
I thought you were going to say commercial. I was like, you're at the right place.
Yeah, but the wrapping machines are about $30,000. So
Okay.
we're kind of at a point in business of, do you find a way to get capital to invest in that to grow, or do you max out physical locals that need some extra money that want to work part-time here and there? So
Yeah. Well, then you
it's
need
an
space,
internal battle,
right? You need the
Electric
space for it,
needs and
yeah.
all the things. And we are busting at the seams. We're trying to figure out what is that next step? Where do we go for space size with overhead
Yeah.
costs and things like that? So, yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm just really intrigued by your business. So nationwide, back to that, you have all of the other things going on, the
Yep.
marketing side. You do Google pay-per-click?
Yes and no, very
Okay.
limited budget. We really rely on word of mouth. We are still a small business.
Nationwide company, word of mouth.
Yep.
But you're basically shipping these candies out as corporate gifts, right?
Correct. Yep. And we
Okay.
do have regular retail customers nationwide.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, we shipped for a regular retail customer, probably it's a split between 4 states outside of Oklahoma: Washington State, California, Florida, and New York State. It's like the 4 corners. I don't know
Okay.
why,
Yeah.
but that's where we seem to ship the most outside of Oklahoma.
Do you think you'll always be in Oklahoma?
Yes, I'm an Okie
Yeah.
girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you never know if we have other locations,
Yeah.
but this will be home forever.
You think you'll franchise it?
No.
No way.
No.
Okay.
not for us.
Okay. That's good that you know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
She's already ahead
Franchising
of-
is great for some models, but not for our mission and what we stand for. I think it would get a little too difficult.
Yeah. Let's see what else I have here. So what do you do to keep on track? Like, how do you keep up with all this, like, to be successful? Like what do you do to keep up with all of
systems,
this? Like,
calendars, date books. I, of course, use a digital date book and calendar just for immediate things, but I still live by my paper date book. I'm kind of an old school pencil and pen kind of girl.
Yeah.
I always joke it's my second Bible. I'm lost without it.
Yeah.
But really, it's just having a great team. Everybody knows their role and knows what they're in charge of, and that allows me to really stay laser focused on what I have to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about, Made in Oklahoma? That's a co-op here in Oklahoma.
Yep.
I feel like you're a pretty big advocate of it.
Yeah, I absolutely
I don't
am.
know if you're on a board or anything, but
Just a member.
you know what? Yeah. How's it
So
work?
we're
What
part
is
of
it?
the MIO Coalition and the regular Made in Oklahoma program, and both of them get state funding through the state ag department.
Okay.
But they're a little bit different entities. So the regular Made in Oklahoma program is where we started, and it's great for the new or smaller mom and pop Made in Oklahoma products. And that could be jams and jellies, candy, it could be handmade leather craft. It really has quite a large umbrella on who can join that program. And then the Made in MIO Coalition side of things is partially funded through the state ag department and partially member funded. And so that one, you're going to see the large companies like the Ozarka Water and Griffin Foods and Neighbors Coffee and some of the others that really service like food service, grocery, which we don't fall into, but we're able to kind of be that support system through our gifting and gift basket services too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the best kind of networking we just talked about
Yeah.
that, but what's the best networking that you've done for your company?
I mean, just really staying out there.
Really?
I mean,
Showing up.
Yeah.
Showing up, right?
You know, go into a networking group and don't network. Like, I know
Yeah.
that sounds kind of cliche, and you know this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you anything, but
But they probably don't, right?
But when I was 19 and first joined Chamber of Commerce's in my previous world, you hear that word network and it's like automatic, like sales hats on, you know, and it's throwing your business cards out there. And it's like, no, just go in and be yourself, 100% yourself, and just connect with people, you know, find common ground. Don't even talk about business, but build those relationships.
Yeah.
And it will come full circle eventually. It's not a short game. It's a long game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're planting seeds, right?
Yes.
Anything else about Made in Oklahoma that you'd want to say?
You know, it's amazing if you pull like MIO Coalition's website. We have lots of statistics on there for the revenue generated here in the state by supporting those. So wherever you're at, just support MIO if you're in Oklahoma. It really helps feed our state economy, our agriculture, all the things. But it's really just a great network of businesses and people that care about the community. They're the ones supporting local football teams and whatnot. So.
And before we started recording today, you said that you buy a majority of your ingredients here in state, right?
Yep. Our rule with all of our products, whether it's, we call them imported goods, they're not imported, but products in our retail store that we don't make in-house, we call imported goods. So whether it's those or our candy, our rule is if not made in Oklahoma, it has to be made in America. And there's a lot of challenges that come with that, you know, but it's really foundational for us to be able to know like where our pecans come from and the community that is supported by that business in a small
pecans. I'm
town.
gonna stop by.
Anytime you're in Afton, Oklahoma, up by Grand Lake, go pop in and see Miller Pecan. The Millers are a phenomenal family, and they're just the greatest people in the world. But, you know, I've been in their facility. I can see how clean and sanitary they are, and they're just good people. So
And good pecans.
they are amazing.
They're not
pecans.
too small.
No, they have some native options, but then
Yeah.
they do have some paper shell options too with larger meats. But
Okay.
yeah, they're just great.
So I told you I like to do the morsels and pecans. And so every year, my wife's, my mother-in-law, she buys pecans for my wife to make 1 or 2 pecan pies.
Yes.
And then I get in trouble because I always eat the pecans.
Yep.
And then she's like, do you know how much we spent on pecans? And then, but I've been eating, like me and my older son now, we both kind of like do the same thing. So we eat all the pecans.
It's a power food. If you really
Yeah,
look
it's
at all
powerful.
the
That's why-
macro and
that's why I do
micronutrients
it.
in it.
That's why I do it.
Protein. You know, and making candy, like when we toast our pecans for like our toffee and our divinity, the smell of the pecans while they're toasting, that is the smell that immediately makes me hungry. It's not the sugar, it's the pecans. Yeah.
So I know probably varies, but just to kind of give me and our audience an example of how much, like how big in bulk that you buy of goods. Like how much sugar do you buy, like a month or a quarter?
Sugar varies. Right now, it sounds silly, but we're able to get smaller bags of sugar at a time at through local grocers at a better price than we can through food service companies. So being a small business, I have to watch price per ounce and pound very, very closely, and I shop around. So supply chain has become an issue, not just over the last 3 years, but all of a sudden we're seeing a whole nother surge of costs skyrocketing. So to give you an example, in the height of the mess a few years ago, we were paying about 42 cents a pound for sugar. It has now jumped again, and it's about 70 to 72 cents a pound. Okay. So it's...
How many pounds do you like use like a year or...
I've never really... I need to put pencil to paper on that.
I was just curious.
On a week and like non-Christmas season, we probably go through... 500 or 600 pounds of sugar. Pecans vary because it depends if we've got a corporate gifting order for candied pecans versus just toffee, which doesn't use as many pecans. But we receive pallets of pecans from time to time. So
I'm definitely stopping by and
anytime. We always
I'm bringing morsels.
We always have pecans in the fridge. Yeah.
All right, Melissa. Would you like to add anything else?
We have a really fun new product, Candy Floss Glitter Bombs. And I know I mentioned candy floss just a little bit ago, but that's the original name for cotton candy. And we do mix all of the sugars in-house.
Did you trademark it?
No, we can't because it's kind of just a common term. We're just going nostalgic on using that versus cotton candy. But we mix all the sugars in house, which is really unique. Most companies that make cotton candy just buy mass produced like pink or blue cotton candy, if you will. So we use organic raw sugar and natural extracts, and we don't add any dye to our cotton candy. But within that, we've made Candy Floss Glitter Bombs. So cocoa bombs are out and Candy Floss Glitter Bombs are in. So it's a ball of cotton candy with edible glitter in the middle. And what's fun about these is you can drop them in any carbonated or like clear-ish type beverage from champagne or Moscato d'Asti wine or even just Topo Chico. But we love to make mocktails with them. We carry a line of non-alcoholic tequila and bourbon in the store.
What?
And
non-alcoholic
tequila? It was created by 3 women.
Is it delicious? I mean, it tastes like tequila,
and it's the
right?
real thing. It's twice
That's
distilled.
Crazy.
So the first time is to make the alcohol. The second time removes the alcohol back out. So it was 3 moms that created the line. They were just at a stage of life they needed to abstain from alcohol. And it's cool because you can mix a 1-to-1 ratio to just lower your ABV, or you can use it in place of your favorite tequila or bourbon. So
the original drink was called Mama's Little Helper.
Right. Yep. So, but the cotton candy glitter bombs are a lot of fun, and we offer a gender reveal option too. We have color changing glitter for pink or blue. So, lots of fun.
Do you sell a lot of that around states?
Valentine's and Easter are big for the cotton candy glitter bombs, but we do ship those nationwide quite a bit too.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yep.
What actions would you like our viewers to take? We're going to have, your website and your contact information in the description.
Yeah.
Do you okay if they reach out to you like on LinkedIn or any of those kinds of
absolutely.
things?
I'm personally on LinkedIn, just Melissa Wedman. And then, of course, Instagram and Facebook, Molly Coddled Hashslinger.
Yep.
And we're starting on the TikTok thing. And I finally feel old enough that I've not kept up with technology. Social media changes enough that my kids who are 10 and 12 like to give me TikTok tips. So follow us on TikTok and help us get those numbers up too.
Okay, awesome. Yep. Well, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to our episode sponsor. And then, Melissa, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Yeah, and sharing, your hacks and stuff with our audience. Super excited to watch your company grow.
Thank you.
And, get your machine and stop cutting that candy.
My calluses can go away.
Yeah. But good job.
Yes. Thank you.